Far More Than We Think, Making Sense of Spirituality by Angelo. Chapter 42, The Driving Test. I have a confession to make. I am totally committed to living my life based on the spiritual principles that I've outlined in the preceding chapters. But when I get behind the steering wheel of my car, these principles can be quickly forgotten. I can transform in an instant from a relaxed, happy, serene, spiritual person into an egocentric, selfish, impatient, aggressive, foul-mouthed tyrant with no regard or tolerance for any of my fellow drivers. This is my truth, and I have to accept it and see it for what it really is. My ego is alive and kicking, and will take over without invitation, particularly in circumstances when I'm running on autopilot, such as driving my car. Some days are better than others, but there are occasions when I'm shocked by my own behaviour. The good news is that I can, sometimes at least, see myself doing it, and therefore have a choice to start my journey again and proceed with a different attitude. I often have to restart my journey several times. My ego can be very persistent and can manifest in all sorts of circumstances. I dislike it when other drivers try to push in, overtake, or generally seem to think that they are more important than me. Likewise, I'm reluctant to slow down and allow others to pull out from awkward junctions or situations. I get frustrated in traffic jams and quickly irritated when I get in the wrong lane and see other lanes moving more quickly. I have it in my head that my unimpeded journey is a priority, even when I'm in no particular hurry. I'm quick to judge every other driver as inferior or inconsiderate, whilst at the same time knowing I often make similar mistakes and lack consideration for others. Unconditional love does not seem to flow from me once I'm in driving mode. My only redeeming feature is that I'm getting a bit better, slowly. Driving is a big test of my spirituality. I may think I'm making good progress, but one trip down the road soon tells me I still have a long way to go. I accept this, though. I accept that I am far from perfect, and that there will always be room for more growth. This is the nature of spirituality. It's a journey without end, and it's the same for all of us. One of the many wonderful new things that are now part of my life is this willingness to increasingly look at myself honestly and admit my faults. There's nobody to impress and nothing to fear, so there's no need to deny the reality of my own imperfection. My ego tries to deny it, but my spiritual self sees me as I am and gently encourages me to grow and change. I do not judge myself or beat myself up for my failings, but simply note them and use them as indicators for the next phase of spiritual development. It will not surprise you to know that driving is not the only area where I fail the test. In fact, every single upset or irritation in my life is a renewed call for the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, and the courage to change myself. It is humbling to know that I will never pass this driving challenge, yet there is great strength in this humility, because I will be forever looking to improve. There is strength in apparent weakness, and weakness in apparent strength. It's not my position to judge anyone, but based on my observation of fellow road users and society in general, it does seem that most of us have room for improvement when it comes to unconditional love. If we are to be serious about spiritual growth, a useful addition to our daily practice will be this willingness to apply the spirituality test to ourselves and take heed of what the results tell us. It's like holding up a mirror and taking a good look at ourselves on a regular basis. We have to overcome our propensity for the denial of our own shortcomings and honestly take stock of where we are on the journey. This self-reflection can be challenging at first, but just like all things spiritual, it gets easier with practice. Eventually, it will become a self-correcting mechanism that works in real time as we go about our daily activities. This spiritual maintenance will help us to keep on growing and prevent us from slipping back into our old ways. In truth, we are tested many times each day, and this will always be the case if we are to lead full and active lives. Our ego-driven willpower will give us determination in life, but the practice of spirituality will lead us gently to self-determination. Life is one big test, but with spirituality as our driving force, it can be an enlightening journey. The driving test will always help us steer in the right direction.